Okino Yoroshiro's Monster. This is a very dramatic horror anime that some of you may like and some of you may not like. It starts off with this Japanese neurosurgeon named Dr. Kenzo Tenma. He's Japanese. He moves to Germany. And he's engaged to be married to the deputy director's wife. Like, it starts off a little different. You get to see this from one perspective and from another perspective. Let's start off with a thing. He wakes up, sees his girlfriend, and he notices something on the news. Like, he goes to work and there's this woman there. She stares at him and she asks him, "Are you Dr. Tenma?" He says, "Yeah." She says, "Give me back my husband. Bring me my husband back." Turns out that her husband was in an accident, and he was a patient that came there earlier in the day, like the other day. He was supposed to treat him, but instead he treated some opera singer here. Well, even though the opera singer came after the construction worker. Wanna know why? Because the hospital itself is ruled by kind of like money. Basically, whoever the most wealth, bring the most fame and the most fortune, basically they get the most attention. Basically, and those who don't bring that kind of attention, they get sent to the back. It starts off that way. Tenma's starting to contradict himself after that what he did was the right decision, and things are pretty heated, and he's right now struggling with this decision. He's right now struggling with what he's did, because after all, this woman told him what happened, and now he's like confused. He wants to know if what he's doing is the right decision, and he's struggling with himself. Then later, there's another surgery. Like, he treats this little boy, Johann Lieber, who got shot in the head. He's on the verge of dying, but at the same time, you have the mayor who has a clogged artery. Like, he's very sick too. But the boy came there first. So what he's doing, he goes to the boy who's basically a nobody, or the mayor that will give you a lot of attention. He picks the boy because the boy first. The boy came first, and that's not what he's supposed to do. This become what he did. He saved the boy's life, but the mayor died as a result. Oh, but then his career starts to go down the tube. Basically, his life starts to become over. Like, the director who was supposed to name him had surgery, but instead he gave it to someone else, because you basically ended your own career. And basically, he's still a doctor, but he's now treated less than what he was. And even worse, his fiance dumps him. That's your fiance's director's daughter. She dumps him and calls him a fool. Just literally drops the ring right in front of him like a low blow. But even worse, she flirts with some guy like in the other room, and he sees it all while she's going through, basically opening the door and just walking in. Just does this. It's like a low blow for the guy. Tenma goes to the room, Johann's room, the boy he treated. He said he's just a greedy bastard. He wished he was dead. And he even thanks the boy, because it was because of that kid, because of the decision that he made, he got to open his eyes a little bit. Things start to become even weird. Things start to get a little weird. There's a reason why this show is called Monster. Let me explain. It goes on, continues weird. Then you see Tenma basically having a nervous breakdown, drinking, going out. Then later, the deputy director is found dead in his home. Did Tenma do it? No, he didn't. He's found dead. Two other doctors found dead, and one of them is the same guy that the hospital director just gave the job to. Basically, every people who was getting in Tenma's way was just killed. And this is very dramatic. And suspicion started to go on Tenma, because he's the one getting all the power in the end. But he's not guilty. But he's not guilty. He's innocent. He really is innocent. Then time skips. Then you go 9 years later. Tenma's now chief surgeon, and he's basically in charge of the hospital. And he's very young, and he's a brilliant surgeon. Everything goes his way. At the same time, this is middle-aged German couples all over the state, all over the country. 4 middle-aged couples, along with several others. Then you find out that one of the suspects named Mr. Junkers. He's a burglary expert, and he was working with people, but his people are dead. He runs away, and he gets hit by a car, and he makes it to Tenma's hospital. Then you find, then Tenma tries to treat him, of course, but he is a suspect. Police, so he's under protective watch just to see what's going on. Mr. Junkers starts to muddle something. Tenma starts to know. He keeps saying, he said, "Hey, what are you saying?" He's saying the monster is coming. The monster is coming. And what monster? Things start to go a little digress. I mean, this episode, and the first murder, remember, the first murder happened in the second episode. So this is a very long track series. I mean, this is a very long track. Dramatic, leave you on the edge of your seat. As it continues, Tenma tries to show Mr. Junkers that not all of life is bad. I mean, he is a criminal, but he's trying to treat him right. Tenma's such a nice guy. Like, he's trying to help, even though he's the main character, but it's not his fault. He's just like that. They just made him that way. As it continues on, you see Tenma trying to buy a gift for this man, and you notice that the guy likes clocks. The guy even tells him. Then Junkers, he goes outside his room, say, "Hey, security." Sorry about that, low battery. As it continues, he says, "Security guard, I'm ready to confess." Then security guard is found dead, like he is dead right there. And then there's the light in the hallway. There's basically no light. Like, picture a guy coming out of the hospital room, is basically very dark, and you see a corpse right there. And this corpse was like standing up. Basically, he was standing up like this, but then he started to slide down, and his hands started to open up, and basically he's dead. Junkers runs away. He runs away to his own abandoned building, but he's caught by a man who's trying to kill him. Tenma follows him. He sees him leaving the hospital. He even follows him. So he confronts Junkers and the man trying to kill Junkers. He says, "Please don't hurt Mr. Junkers. He's my patient." And the man in the shadow says, "It's been a long time, Dr. Tenma." He's saying, "You know me? And do you remember about the twins?" And then he finds out that this man is Johann Liebert, the very same person that Dr. Tenma saved. The little boy who was shot in the head that he chose to save over the mayor here all those years ago. That was him. Meaning all this time Tenma was confessing his hatred for the doctors and the deputy director. The boy did that to him as some kind of favor for saving his life. That's sick and twisted. He even shoots Junkers in the head and shots him in the back. Like Tenma is like thunderstruck, meaning the decision that he made cost people all their lives. This man literally created a monster, and this kid is a monster. This kid is like the Michael Myers type, like growing up and growing up in the background, just killing anything he wants, and just doesn't give a crap, doesn't care about it. The only feeling he just gets is just nothing from this. As it continues on, suspicions start to fall around Tenma, like Tenma. Johann just walks away. He just walks away, giving Tenma this look like he's about to smile. He's glad at what he did. Suspicion falls around Tenma. Even the same detective from 8 years ago that was investigating the deputy director murders are now trying to after him. This is very suspicious. Now blame is falling on him because it was his patient. The murders of the deputy director, the murder of the guard, the patient, it's all falling on him. People are sticking by him, saying that he's not the one. He's innocent, but people are starting to suspect he's guilty. Even the police, they even come to arrest him. He basically runs away. That makes him even more guilty because the fact that he's running away makes it even worse. And and he takes a gun with him. Like, and this all happens in the murder of Mr. Eustace happens in the 4th episode, and he runs away in the 5th. This is a very dramatic series, and he takes a gun with him. He goes away for a long journey. He's trying to find Johan, trying to find his rampage, even trying to stop him, even runs away. Like, he does everything he does this whole series, trying to stop the monster that he created. Like, he never asked for this. Like, he thought he was just saving the life of a child, but he didn't. Oh, he was going to lead to this horrible event that was going to happen. Like, one mistake, and it led to the death of so many people. And like I said, and I didn't say this earlier, Johan is one half of two twins, fraternal twins. He has a sister. His name was Anna, like Anna Liebert, but she was but they both disappeared at the same time. I didn't mention her earlier because she was seen in the hospital for shock, but there's a lot of secrets in this series. This series is very dramatic, leave you on the edge of your seat. What will come next? What's more of this? This kid is literally the Michael Myers type. You want to know what's the difference between this kid and Michael Myers? Michael Myers hides his face behind a mask. He doesn't. He stares at you in the shower, and he gives you this blank look on his face, like he's about to smile at you, like he doesn't care about his feet, like he doesn't care, like he's glad of what he's did. Michael Myers hides his face behind the mask because he doesn't care. Johan doesn't. And not to mention, Michael Myers, when he escaped on a insane asylum, he escapes by himself. This kid literally ran away with his sister. They both became separated. But this kid ran away for 8 years. This kid is smart, intelligent, and over that time he had followers. I mean, other people killing him to do his dirty work. Like, people that other serial killers, just to kill evidence. Anybody who knew him over the 8 years that he disappeared, making sure nothing is found in the past. And nothing stands out. Making sure that his existence is not known. People are starting to doubt Tenma because they really believe that a child is a murderer. Unless you had solid proof, people are not going to believe you. That's what Tenma's in this position, and this is why Tenma is having difficulty. Because of what his decision brought around the ruin of so many lives. And during his journey, Tenma not only wants to stop Johan, he has a Hippocratic oath. You know that Hippocratic oath where the doctor does and takes to make sure that he helps any patient no matter what the situation, any person no matter what the cause. He does that. He meets people on their way, some people who he knows, some people travel with him and he thinks they're his friends because he helps them, and some people he don't know. Like I said, the difference between Michael Myers and Johan, certain key differences. Was Johan always a monster? This series takes you a background check and look into Johan's personality, and not to mention more than one perspective on multiple characters, multiple directions, even his origins. Where did this kid came from? We saw Michael Myers' origins not that much. The remakes don't count. The Halloween Rob Zombie, Halloween 2 Rob Zombie were just crap. They were just crap. I don't think the earlier versions were the best. Trust me. Michael Myers, despite the mask, it was a symbol of his how terrifying this guy was and how monstrous he is. Michael Myers only took his mask off for 2 movies. One was the first Halloween, 1978, when he was about to kill his sister Laurie, and the second was 1989, Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers trying to kill his niece, because his niece was trying to connect to him. Even that failed, but the remakes were crap. But this series is not just horror, it's dramatic. Will Tenma find a way to stop this man? Will he redeem his innocence? Will he finally end the nightmare? And this series is 74 episodes, and the first dozen murders happened in episode 2, episode 4, and this is a very dramatic episode. I will put the link. I put the link down in the description bar so you can watch it yourself. Trust me, this will leave you on the edge of your seat. And when it first premiered, and this is an old anime, it premiered in 2004, and was made public on Sci-Fi's anime block in 2008. but it was in 2009. It lasted 9 months. Anyway, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment, rate, subscribe. Thank you. This is Sellavin, and I'm signing off. Between those two, they're kind of similar but different. Thank you. Signing off.